Mama.
I'm Norah.
Mama.
I'm Norah.
Mama.
I'm Norah.
And this is Norah and Mama Time. I think we just came up with our jingle.
Hello, hello. Today we have a visitor, actually. So let's drum roll, please, for our visitor. Dada.
Hello. Thank you for having me on the podcast. Long-time listener, big fan. Been following your development for the last 8+ years here.
Well, it's an honor to have you here.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Yam.
Yam who?
I am what I am.
Oh, yeah, you are what you are.
We are what we are.
We're gonna change the name a little bit to Norah and Dada Time today. Our topic, it is...
Humor.
Yes, jokes and riddles and humor. What's the difference between a bad joke and a dad joke? The first letter.
What in the world is a laugh?
A laugh is when you go like this.
So if you laugh for real, though, it also releases chemicals in your brain. Our body and our brain work together on the laugh. And if you get a good laugh, your body and your brain are both telling you to do this, and then it's rewarding you with chemicals to reinforce that you should do it again.
I have some of my favorite jokes right here. How do you make the number 1 disappear? Add a G and it's gone.
Ba-bum. Why wasn't the geometry teacher at school?
I don't know.
Because she sprained her ankle.
What begins with T, finishes with T, and has T in it?
I don't know what.
A teapot. Teapot? Is that a riddle?
I think so, but the only difference between a riddle and a joke is it funny? Riddles usually make you think a little more.
Oh, can I tell you a pizza joke?
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's too cheesy.
What do you think makes a good joke?
Well, I think a good joke is a joke with a good plot line. Like, all the things make sense.
What's black and white and red all over?
A sunburned zebra.
Ha!
You say it.
Newspaper.
Yep.
You know how you can say it now?
What makes that a good riddle is you say black and white, which are the colors, and then you say red all over. And then that's where it actually gets good because you've been saying colors, so when you say red, you think of another color, but it's actually red, like the homophone, like read.
Yep.
And I think that's what makes it a good riddle. Like, it actually gets you to think.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in a homophone, if you say it with one of the words, it makes sense. And if you say it with the same word, but you think about it as a different meaning, it still makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a quality pun. Whenever you can make a story fit on multiple levels. And that applies to all jokes, riddles, and all storytelling. The more levels you make the story true, the more true the whole story is. What's an example of a riddle?
An example. Okay, I'll give you one. Okay. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years?
Let's let the listeners sit with that one for a moment. That's a tough riddle that Norah just gave you. It's not even just a joke. And we will tell you at the end of the episode.
In a one-story house where the floor is pink, the fishbowl is pink, the fish is pink, the kitchen is pink, the chairs are pink, the table is pink, the house is pink, the windows are pink, the roof is pink, and the sofa is pink, and the TV is pink. What color are the stairs?
What color did you say the basement was? You said everything was pink. What color are the stairs? I'm going to go pink.
No, it was a one-story house.
Ah! I get it. everything is pink in your riddle, but you told them the one thing in the beginning that matters the most. That's the first story house. And then you can actually make up whatever you want for as long as you want, and then get to the end and say what color are the stairs. So you did it, you named a bunch of pink things that could be in the house. But if you were bored, you could throw 3 more jokes in there. You could keep layering them and then sandwich at the end with what the thing is. So if you want to like scale up a beginning, middle, end, depending how long your joke needs to be, you can also look for room where you improvise. And in this case, everything from one-story house to asking about the stairs, you can talk about whatever you want. And in your case, you just made us think pink, 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 pink.
A queen bee was buzzing, a worker bee was buzzing, a honey bee was buzzing, and a killer bee was buzzing. How many bees are in buzzing? There's only one B in buzzing, like the letter.
Boom.
What's so fragile that even saying its name could break it? Silence. Silence. If you say silence, silence is broken.
Should we take a vow of silence for the rest of this episode? So what are your other preferred genres of humor?
Usually, I laugh at potty humor.
Potty humor, yes.
I actually think, like, what makes it so funny? I actually don't know why, but once Mama told me because, like, you don't talk about it much, so when you do, it's funny. So
Yeah.
potty humor.
So a
Like-
word for that is called taboo. So what is taboo is what you're not supposed to talk about it. So then when you talk about
I
it,
remember Mama telling
you're
me
like
that.
breaking the outsider's perspective, and you're already a little funny or interesting because you're talking about something you're quote unquote not supposed to. But poop is also just, it's funny. Isn't it funny that we do all this work and we spend all this money to eat, and then after we eat we just poop it all out, and then we do it again day after day after day, and we have to build all these systems to manage our poop, like the running water and the toilets, and then we have like this waste to like deal with. Could you imagine what society was like before toilets? So toilets, the whole system of running water, I would say is up there for the most important invention of our lives. Potty humor still makes me laugh. It's not just for kids.
Yeah. Like,
Pull my finger.
you? Yeah, I was just about to say, he does that sometimes where you pull his finger and he would fart.
That
Which
was
he
a
just did.
real fart.
Yeah, I know.
You may think it was sound effects, but no.
So, yes, everybody, we're just letting you know that was a real
That was
fart.
a very real fart. Does it smell okay in here? You want to keep recording?
Yeah, I'll keep recording. It's fine. We
It's
have
funny.
a picture in our bathroom of a butt.
That picture is drawn by Picasso.
He drew a butt.
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't draw, like,
Too much
a
detail.
bird or a butterfly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't put that in the bathroom. But a butt's funny. Everyone has a butt.
Yeah.
And it's also, Picasso is one of the greatest artists ever. The picture we chose to put up is him drawing a stick figure butt.
It's not a stick figure butt. It's a butt.
It's a single line, like, charcoal, you know, it's not much drawing. Like, he probably did it in like 7 minutes.
Probably did it in like 1 minute. It's like all you have to do is draw a line there. So, yeah. I also made up a few other jokes. Which way should the car turn?
I don't know, which way?
The right way.
Ah.
What's the worst kind of cane?
I don't know, what?
A hurricane.
Not a sugar cane?
No.
Hurricane would definitely be worse. Sugar's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not good for you, but it tastes good.
Yeah. Sugar. What time is it when an elephant sits on your fence?
I don't know.
Time to get a new fence.
Yeah.
That, it's just like, it is true. Like, if an elephant would sit on your fence, it would be time to get a new fence. But it doesn't really have the joke to it.
The joke is missing the joke part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an issue. What do you call a fake noodle?
In pasta.
You know it. That is what it's called. So we got riddles, jokes, and humors. The Tale of Two Cities, that type of genre, that's called a parody. Have you heard of this word before?
No.
It's to take something that exists in the world, spin it just a little bit so you think of that other thing, but you're making a joke on it. So,
Give me an example.
so if you know Lord of the Flies and you see Lord of the Fleas, you think of it. And he does the same intro to make you think of it, and then he brings you into his own world. But it's like a spin
that is,
on the
I think
existing
that's
world.
just amazing.
You just made a chef's kiss. Do you see Mama do that? Is that where you learned that?
No, I learned it from the baking show.
Oh, yeah, they do that a lot.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Well, it's as good as a chef's kiss.
There's a singer. His name's Weird Al Yankovic. And
What the what-ish?
Weird Al. That's what they call him.
Weirdo?
Weird Al.
Weirdo? That's the weirdest name
And he
ever.
takes the existing melodies of songs that are the most popular in the world and he rewrites them so they're funny.
Oh,
So instead of a gangster's
Like-
paradise,
like-
it's an Amish paradise.
in camp,
Yeah.
my friends sang it like, let it go, let the toilets overflow.
That's good. That's good writing. Who
Is
came
it
up
kind
with
of like that?
Exactly like that. Do you see how you could become very popular doing that?
Yeah,
How's the rest of the song go?
that's it.
So it goes. You sing it for us?
I already did.
Okay.
Let it go, let it go. Let the toilets overflow. That's not even the melody.
I don't care if there's poop everywhere. The show must go on. The plumber doesn't bother me anyway.
Yeah. I think the poop everywhere was good. I don't care if there's poop everywhere.
Then what's the real line? What's the next one?
I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. The cold doesn't bother me anyway.
Let the pee pour on. The mold doesn't bother me anyway.
What's the mold?
If you leave water in places, mold will start to grow. Mold a lot of times grows in moist areas.
Oh, that's so perfect. Yeah. Okay, sing from the beginning. Let it go, let it go. Let the toilets overflow. Let it go. I don't care if there's poop everywhere. Let the pee
Pour on.
on. The mold doesn't bother me anyway.
Weird Al.
That was so good.
Yeah.
And we just made that up.
Yeah,
Like, literally.
We've just kept this mic on long enough to create something new. Could you tell me about a funny story from camp?
There was this time where we were playing headbands. It's like where you wear headbands with a card that you can't see, and then you ask questions about what you are. It's like, I am a flower. I am a whatever.
But you don't know what you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you ask questions about yourself, and then there's this girl, she was like, do I have legs? Do I have fur? Do I have eyes? And then we were like, you're not alive, because she was a food. And then she's like, am I dead? But she was a food. And the counselors laughed so hard that one of them their whole face turns red.
Whoa.
I think hers was a fruit.
So
But I'm not sure, but she wasn't dead. Like, food isn't really dead.
some of it is. I mean, it was like a plant or an animal, and then it becomes something we eat. You know, Ira, your little brother, he went on his first field trip ever, and they were showing him furs of animals, and they were clarifying to him that it's dead animals and they're not alive, and he shouldn't be scared to pet the fur of like a coyote.
And then they held fake poo-poo.
Uh-huh. But when he got home, he was like, this stuffy is dead. This stuffy is dead. And he started calling all this stuffies dead because he had just pet the coyote skin. And so he thought all of his stuffies used to exist as the animal they were, and this was their dead stuffy body.
Yeah, that was funny. Really funny.
Who do you think are some of the funniest people in the world?
You.
Well, who else do you think is very funny?
Well, Ira. He also did this funny thing where, like, he's walking on the edge of the couch and he falls, and on the way of falling, his head, like, hits Mama's toe, and then he's like, hey, you hurt me! And then there's also this time where, like, he spilled water, and some of it got on him, and he's like, you spilled on me! But when he spilled the water.
Little brothers, they're like, I'm doing everything right, and then when I fell and hit your foot, it's your fault because you had a foot.
You repeat the riddle that we were going to circle back to?
Oh, yes. So, our answer to our riddle, the letter M. Because if you spell minute out, there's one M. If you spell moment out, there's two M's. But if you spell 1,000 years out, there's no M's. So what happens once in a minute, twice in a moment, and never in 1,000 years? The letter M. Since Mama isn't here, I'm going to teach you a Vietnamese word instead. And it is the word humor or funny. And so, do you know what two is in Vietnamese?
Hi.
Hi, that's right. So, now we just have to do that, but in a lower tone. Hi, hi, hi. This is kind of hard. Hi. That's a question mark. Hi.
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 Oh, I'm still doing the question mark. Hi.
Hoi.
No, that isn't it.
Hoi.
Hi.
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 Hi. Okay, I think we got it. But anyway, that's what funny or humor is.
Hi.
It's hi.
Hi.
I think I'm saying it right.
Hi.
Okay,
Hi.
Mama, I hope I'm saying it right.
Don't worry. She'll tell us. She's a listener.
Yeah. And a maker.
Yeah.
So, our next episode is actually really fun. So let's drum roll what it is. Compare and contrast Colorado to Vietnam.
Everyone does that.
Well, but this one is extra special because we are recording this in Vietnam.
Well, we're in Colorado now.
Yes, we're going to go to Vietnam in 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in 3 days we're going. So yeah, the next time we'll see you, we'll be in Vietnam. I'm so excited.
We don't see anyone. This is an audio podcast.
They get what I mean. Okay. Ha-chew!
Bless you. Gesundheit.
So, goodbye. We'll see you next time on Norah and
Dada.
Time.
Thanks for having me. Sing the theme song?
Yeah, what is the theme song?
I think it goes, let it. Let's do the new theme song.
Let it go, let it go. Let the toilets overflow. Let it go, let it go. Let the toilets out. And then I don't know what's in the middle, but then I don't care if there's poop everywhere. Let the pee pour on. The mold doesn't bother me anyway. This is perfect.
Alright.
Okay, so now, real goodbye.
Goodbye.